everyone, welcome to Review Time. I'm your host Islip, and today we're going to be reviewing the Walmart exclusive 3-pack of Bumblebee with Strafe versus Decepticon Stinger. So here's the packaging minus the insert, which is standard fare when you get like the Dinobots, and just background with schematics of the Dinobots and Grimlock and blah blah blah. And you can see these are just, for the most part, carbon copies of the other, with the exception of the oh, there are some differences. No, not really. Only real difference is the headlights on these figures. And here we've got a versus shot at the top, and you know, the figures, and well, not the figures, the characters, and then when you turn it around, you're like, what the hell, because stuff is not right. So, okay, you can see the patterns on the back here. This is what the insert looked like, except that it held the 3 figures that you see here. We've got Decepticon Stinger, who looks nothing like Stinger, except that he's red. We have Bumblebee, who does not look like the Camaro he was supposed to be in the new Transformers movie. He looks like the Dark of the Moon Camaro, which that's what it is, just the Dark of the Moon figure, which may have been just a redo of the figure from earlier. And then we've got Strafe, who is Strafe. This one transforms 5 steps, 13 steps. Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares? And then there's something about an app you can get at the App Store. The one that I found was just an endless runner, and it sucked. I don't like endless runners, I'm sorry. I think that's a lazy waste of time when you've got something so cool as Transformers. So, that aside, let's pan the camera down just a wee bit. And first we're going to bring in our little fellers, a wee folk. And there we've got Monsieur Bumblebee and Monsieur Stinger. And hold on one second. Didn't have the settings right, so the colors, actually they're still a little bit brighter, and this guy looks a lot lighter on the screen than he actually is. He's sort of a yellow taxi kind of, you know, not this sort of really light yellow. He's a little bit darker, like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you've got B, and since he is just a reuse of an older mold, they gave him this weapon. It doesn't really store anywhere on the figure, so I just use it as like exhaust. Here we have Stinger, who is a red car, but does not look like the car they used in the movie. So let's go ahead and transform him, pull off the weapon. Then what are we gonna do? We're gonna bend this up like so. Pull these out, and you'll see these are on posts. You slide them back, and some of you might be like, hey, that transformation looks familiar. And yeah, it does look very familiar, because what you actually got is Knockout from Transformers Prime with a slightly different repaint. But they didn't even change the head. He's got the same smirk and everything. I mean, really, that's crazy. But you know what, though, I do like this figure, so that's about as far as I'm going to complain. You stick the sword here, or you can turn it. You can use the sword like this, which doesn't make any sense, but so he's got a little sword, and that's great. How you come to be? Pull this off. Pop these out to this side. Bring this forward. Flip these down. Split. And then you're bringing that. And then you've got Bumblebee. And Bumblebee came with a gun, which doesn't make much sense, and I'll tell you why in a second. So he's got a hand there, but like every other Bumblebee they make nowadays, there's no hand there. It's actually molded to be his little gun that he normally has on his right hand, apparently. And there we have Bumblebee in his not movie accurate figure. And if you look at the Legends line for this movie, they're all reused figures. None of them are new at all. They're all reused. Grimlock is Ripper Snapper from the Abominus set. The Optimus Prime mold they use for the Legend size here is actually from I think the Legends from the second movie, before they started doing the Cyberverse Commanders. So yeah, that's a little disappointing. I mean, I like him. I mean, and you know what? Don't get me wrong. I do like the Bumblebee mold. It's not a bad mold. It's actually a pretty good mold. We're just burnt out on Bumblebee, so thankfully they have made. Seriously, I have hardly seen any Bumblebees. I mean, you see, he's a little more predominant in the different size classes, but as far as many as they put in a set, it's not like there's 18 different Bumblebees for the deluxe size and 15 for the leader, and you know, they're actually spreading them out a bit, and I think the Dinobots are getting actually more action than Bumblebee is. So that's cool. So we're gonna take them out, and then we bring in Strafe. And Strafe is the two-headed Pteranodon. And he'd be a pterodactyl, but apparently the fact that he's got the devil pointy tail things here, that makes him a Pteranodon and not a pterodactyl. I think that's what it was. I'm not really sure. Now when you get this, his tail will be, like you can see it's bent here. This is a lot straighter than it actually was when I first got it. I actually soaked this in warm water a few times, and what I actually ended up doing was tying toothpicks and a knife in the middle and soaking it so that it would kind of stay as straight as possible. And it still curves, but this is a lot better than what you get in the box. What you get in the box, it swoops out a lot. But yeah, there he is, and he looks really nice, all things considered. Even if you look like this, you can see his arms. From most angles, he just looks like a giant pterosaur, and his wingspan is huge. His wingspan. Okay, here we have a figure from a deluxe size figure, and his wings alone are almost the length of the figure. So that explains the big box. And in this mode, posability is the wings flap up and down. Turn this up a little bit. Heads move up and down. You can turn them like so. You can turn them on this joint. You can actually even bring them out some if you need to. And of course, the mouth opens and closes. Oh, excuse me. And it's got some decent detailing. Let's see if I can zoom in. So he's got the Dinobot eyes and whatnot. Now, when you see him on camera, I normally don't like Swoop or Strafe or whatever in blue. I never liked Swoop in blue. I always liked him in red, like he originally was in the toys. But this actually fits perfectly. This fits well. They did it nice. Silver that gradiates into blue, the black. He's spiky like the other Dinobots, but not overly so. Well, here maybe, but not on the wings. And he's pretty nice. You know, his legs move, so you can have him flying with his feet back, or not really. Well, you can put his feet up. Popped off his leg joint. Guess you can kind of, put him to this. Nah, that looks silly. So yeah, when he's flying, you can just have him to the back. And then he looks more like a dragon than a pterosaur, because pterosaur's legs didn't go that far. They were, yeah. But yeah, he's pretty cool. And he comes with a weapon, which I'm not really fond of this weapon. It's this crossbow, and it's a friction missile. You just push on here and it shoots, and I don't really care to do that because I'm outside. And yeah, and it fits on the back. You can have Swoop with 2 heads. I mean, Swoop, Strafe, sorry, with 2 heads and that, and it's okay. It is okay, but yeah, not really. I don't like it, and I don't like that it's sticking up that far. I guess you could turn it around if you want to, and just have it like this, and then it goes along the back very well, but the stupid thing sticks out, and I don't like that. But yeah, then you can do that, and it kind of goes with the decor. So yeah, and if you want to, you just reposition the wings, and you can actually put Bumblebee on there, since Bumblebee is really small here. You just have to reposition the legs so that you can bring them back up around his hips and still have a flying pterosaur. And this will keep Bumblebee, hopefully, from falling off. Give me a second. So yeah, so just like in the movie, you can have Bumblebee riding Strafe. I would have liked Drift to ride Strafe just because Drift was blue. That would have made more sense to me, but I can see just Drift getting lost within the colors. So you can do that. You can put the wings down and have him walking like pterosaurs supposedly walked, knuckles down on all 4s. So yeah, and then transformation, it's not very hard, it's actually pretty simple. What you're going to do is just come here, pop these off the wings, pop these off the wings. You're going to come to the legs, and you're going to bring the knees forward and around, and then rotate, and then just push the toes up. Do that again on this side. Let's get you out of the frame. Bring this around, rotate, flip up. Then stand them up like so. Then you're going to take the wings and move them out of the way for the moment, so you can take the tails, which are on a pin, and just push them up. And now here you have options. Now we're going to go with the way the instruction booklet says to do it. So actually, we'll just put the tails down for a second. Bring the wings down like so, and you can thread the tail through. And this way, it's sort of like a, I guess like a shield. Not a shield, a cape. Bring these down and rotate the heads down and to the side so that they're along his chest like that. They don't peg in either. They're just kind of there. You can, if you want to, just have them sticking out or up or something, you know, whatever you feel like doing. And then just bring up Swoop's head. And then if you have your hands push back, push them forward. And then that's basically, that's Strafe. I think I said Swoop. That's Strafe's head. Strafe's head. That's Strafe in robot mode, and he is a bit difficult to stand because he is back heavy, and like this knee here is very not wanting to cooperate. Okay, the feet, got it. The feet plug in, and they keep the. It's still a little back heavy, so he still doesn't want to stand properly. But now he's got gorilla arms. You can't do anything about him. You can rotate the hands, but that's not. It's just a dinosaur trait. You can take these off the wings if you want to, and stick them in his hands as swords. You can totally do that. You can take this and either leave it on his back. Oh, actually, no, you can't leave it on his back now because the hole is covered up. You can put it here, and he can sword fight and shoot an arrow, a crossbow. Or if you want to, you can put the wings up or to the side still, and you can stick the crossbow on the back if you want to. I kind of like it like this. This kind of reminds me of I don't know if anybody's ever watched the Disney show Gargoyles, but you know, it kind of looks like that. So posability, head rotates and looks down into the chest. And that's about it. Arms will oops, rotate independently. You can rotate the arms independently of the wings, because the wings are on a separate hinge, but they're both attached at the same shoulder, so when you move the arms, odds are you're going to move the wings as well. But, and in and out, swivel at the upper bicep, elbow, and then the wrists do this for some reason. But they don't tuck in, which is weird because it looks, there's all this space here. It looks like this should have folded into there. He has a waist, ball jointed knees, ball jointed hips that rotate as well a little bit. Knees, they bend there as well. And if you unhook this, he's got a double knee bend, but you don't want to do that. And then the feet don't do anything. And it's rather hollow in the back, but I still think he actually looks really cool. I think out of the Dinobots, he is my second favorite. My first being Grimlock, Voyager Grimlock. I think this guy pulls off his pterosaur mode better. His robot mode looks good, but yeah, Grimlock will it's just Grimlock. Oops. And I'm trying to grab the crossbow. The crossbow has two little pegs, which leads me to believe that this can actually be sort of wielded by... Nah, not really. I don't know what these little pegs are for, but they're little pegs, right? You can see they're right there. Oh, I see. You can put his swords, or whatever these things are, on here and then have him wield it. Let's get you guys out of the way. And actually, I think that weapon looks really nice. That looks cool. So, yeah. Now, this set is $24.99 at Walmart. And actually, if you look at the retail of the figures, they're supposed to be $14.99. So 14 plus $10 for the two of these, because they're like they're actually $6. They're like $5.96. So it adds up to about the price. Actually, you're saving like $1 or $2 if you're buying it together. However, Walmart has been selling the deluxe, the Wave 1 Deluxes, almost from the start at $9.97. So you're actually paying a little bit more than if you were able to buy them separately. However, good luck finding Swoop separate at Walmart. You're not going to find it. That's like, I mean, you can find him online and he's always going to be like 14 and whatever. So, Strafe. I meant Strafe, not Swoop. Sorry. Pteranodon, Pterodactyl, always going to be Swoop to me. But anyway, that is my review of this thing. I think he is definitely, it's definitely worth it, even though that the two molds they use for his little partners aren't the right molds. I think the figure itself, I mean, they're all good figures. They're all good figures, I'm not gonna lie. For what they are, they're good figures. So, in my opinion, they are worth it. And if I got size comparison with another deluxe figure, come on, stand up, stupid thing. I don't really have this much time. And he's about the right size. So, I'm Islip. I love the figure. I love the set. I'm done.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good morning, Cybertron! With your hosts, Kingston 333, Adam, Oscar, Max Ross Linden, Victor Mercy, Holson, Just 9 9s, T2 RX6, Skullface, Rain 9, Islipcocoliso, Dr. What, and Blunghole, the tapeworm of Unicron.